Все пак бурно бе радостта на дома.
Oh God, my knee! Oh, the pain! Get back on the stretcher. We're trying to help you here. Oh God, my leg now. This brother. Are we ever gonna actually get him to the hospital? Oh, it's happened again. I can't believe this, man. Wheel him onto the street. I don't even care. Yo guys, it is your boy Niran here, and you are watching FTW. This, of course, is the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. But what's been kicking up in the world this week? Well, there's been a lot of heavy stuff going on in the last 7 days, but Drake managed to lighten the mood, getting back at an online troll by following his wife and then moving to her on Instagram. She responded and made merch about it as well. Bro, you've lost your wife. Her man's lying awake looking like this. She's gone. First class delivery, 0 postage and packaging. Fabrizio Romano's announcement is imminent. Here we go. Sorry about that. On to the football though now, and where else to start but Real Madrid's magical comeback against Man City to reach the Champions League final. Having been 2 goals down into the 90th minute, Brazilian youngster Rodrigo came off the bench to score 2 in 2 minutes. This before a Karim Benzema penalty took Los Blancos through against all the odds.
Oh, it's in, they've got another one! They've scored again! Oh my word!
My conclusion to it all: Pep is very, very bald. The man's had enough of this whole competition because, like my love life, all was thrown away in 2 minutes of passion. Pep's done for when he arrives at Sheikh Mansour's office asking to spend 1.6 billion this summer. It means he still hasn't won the Champions League without Lionel Messi.
We cannot replace him. We cannot.
These are the scenes when he escapes the Etihad with the Man City credit card. In fairness to Pep and his aloe vera polished head, this result wasn't really on him. His players switched off going into the 90th minute, conceded, and then completely fell apart mentally. Though he was severely distracted on the bench. Hi, babes, listen, I swear to God, it's this big. Meanwhile, there were very different emotions for Carlo Ancelotti, I think, because he looks like this all the time. It's a boy! Mr. Ancelotti. The guy's a complete don. Totally unflappable. Pre-game and Jack Grealish was in awe of the Bernabeu. It was no shock really that he was in love with the place after finding this old tweet from him. But not long into this game and it was clear that the referee had left his cards in his custom-made affordable car. A series of pretty clear-cut fouls from Casemiro went unpunished. The guy can get away with literally any professional foul he wants. Right, look, mate, this is your final warning. Real Madrid bias? I don't know. I just think this ref was entirely incompetent. Well, Riyad Mahrez's goal in the second half looked to have guaranteed City's passage into the final. It was the same week in which he lost his verified tick on Twitter. He was ready to cut inside on his left and side for Elon Musk. Kyle Walker found himself injured at every possible opportunity. Danny Carvajal was finding it difficult to set up Vinicius Jr. Just fucking put the ball in the net. And Real fans were on their way out of the stadium when Divock Rodriguez did the unthinkable.
Call an ambulance! Call an ambulance! But not for me.
We got live scenes of Esteban trying to get back in his seat here.
What are you telling me?
I'm not going to tell you again. Fuck off. You're shit.
Back in 2018, Yaya Touré's agent confirmed that he'd put a curse on Pep Guardiola to say he would never win the Champions League again. Pep, just apologise to Africa, bro. The judge will get lifted. Toni Kroos was enjoying himself on Twitter. It's a shithousery award for the German, and after claiming they have the same amount of Champions Leagues as Man City, so was Spartak Moscow. It's a shithousery award for the Russian side as well. You know, if Real Madrid go on to win this competition, that's all well and good, but the real champions will be Sheriff Tiraspol. Joining them in Paris are Liverpool, but not without a huge scare versus Unai Emery's spirited Villarreal side in Spain. Just 2 minutes into this one and the Reds found themselves behind before Etienne Capoue made it 2-0 just before the break. Trent Alexander-Arnold looked stressed seeing yet another cross float into the box that he'd have to deal with. We were genuinely shit, like box levels of footballing ability. Our midfield had -8% pass accuracy. We misplaced more passes than we even attempted. Don't ask questions. Quite frankly, we were up against it. We needed a hero. Nah, man, this guy had a holiday booked for the date of the final. His wife called him at halftime and said, "You're not going to Paris without me." We need a statue of Geronimo Rulli outside the stadium. He kept our quadruple hopes alive. Honestly, it's like he wasn't even trying to keep Liverpool out here. The ball would enter his own half and the guy's going walkabouts. If you're Unai Emery, you've done all that you can to get back in the tie. Seeing this catastrophic performance must get you vexed.
When I'm through with you. Oh, when I'm through with you.
The post-game analysis will have been interesting as well. Click on the boxes that show a goal keep, but there aren't any. This in reality is who Villarreal actually needed this week. But for Liverpool, Fabinho decided to go nuts in front of goal again, and the game changed when Luis Diaz came on once more. The thing is, I don't know why we're surprised. The guy used to have this haircut. You know he's gonna be on smoke whenever he arrives on the pitch. But for Villarreal, it's kind of mixed emotions, isn't it? Because we were there for the taking, but equally the journey they've been on and the performance they put in is something their fan base can be extremely proud of. I think a lot more respect is needed for them. They're reigning Europa League champions. They knocked out a very good Juventus side very easily. They've knocked out a very good Bayern Munich side. They could have easily knocked us out. And so it leaves us to face Real in a repeat of the 2018 final. And Mo Salah's not forgetting that, saying there's unfinished business after his shoulder injury last time. But who's that making a return for Real Madrid in 2022? Surely not from the top row. In the Premier League, and there were some massive results down at the bottom of the table, as former Chelsea boss Frank Lampard came back to haunt the Blues with his Everton side in the form of a 1-0 victory. Lampard himself was gutted on a touchline seeing Chelsea lose as his players celebrated around him. But the big news in this one was Everton fans setting off fireworks outside of Chelsea's hotel in an attempt to keep them awake ahead of the game.
I woke up, I was like, what's going on here? But we were aware that could happen.
This is Everton's most explosive performance of the season, and it turns out the fireworks were very much keeping everybody awake. I wouldn't have it from them personally. Thomas Tuchel was watching from his window, getting more frustrated by the second. They sent N'Golo Kante down to try and reason with the Everton fans. Yeah, sorry, excuse me. If you, we're just trying to sleep here, and if you don't mind, obviously, like, I don't want to force you into. But he was too nice for it. Toffee's fans even sacrificed a dog before the game. Of course, they were gonna win, for God's sake. Over at Manchester United, and they returned to winning ways with a 3-0 victory over Brentford to keep their Conference League hopes alive. Ronaldo's gonna get the shock of his life when he's in an entirely different UCL to what he expected. Now for real, very simple win though for United here, and a welcome 3 points for a team with little to no confidence. Spirits were high in the crowd in the form of this Gary Neville scarf. Cristiano Ronaldo was taking matters into his own hands here defensively. To be honest, I'd push Scott McTominay out of the way as well if he was my number 6. Brentford fans chanted about racing United fans back down to London because, well, they're all from there. Meanwhile, United fans were chanting 1 hug, 2 hugs, 3 hugs, 4 hugs, 5 hugs, 6 hugs, 7 hugs, 8 hugs, 9 hugs, 10 hugs, 10 hugs, 10 hugs, 10 hugs, 10 hugs, 10 hugs.
What the fucking hell's happening?
Does the news that Harry Maguire is supposedly out for several weeks through injury a devastating blow for the rest of the league? Arsenal beat West Ham 2-1 in a similarly vital top 4 clash, so it wasn't fiery. In fact, it was actually quite the opposite. Hey, yo, listen, we've got a game to play here. I know Rob Holding scored his first Premier League goal in this one, and Aaron Ramsdale was quick to remind him.
Yeah, I hope you can build on that now and get some more.
It took 6 years and a new airline.
6 years. Come on, mate.
But he might be onto something here, you know, because the goals came from Holding and Gabriel. That's new hairlines 2, West Ham United 1. Get a new contract on the table for the guy that sorted both of them out.
Let him sign it, let him write whatever numbers he wants to put on there, give him what he's done now.
Over at Manchester City's demolishing of Leeds, and Jack Grealish had severe projectiles thrown at him. Apparently it was a kid. We can see the 4-year-old getting evicted and banned from Elland Road here. Edinson Cavani was mobbed by Manchester United fans wanting him to stay at the club. Please, Mr. Cavani, you're my favourite footballer. I don't want you to go. Oh no, don't worry about it, kid. There's no way that I'm leaving. I'm absolutely leaving at the first fucking opportunity, mate. I'm gone. Burnley won again to strengthen their survival hopes. Hey, listen, Sean Dyche might have actually been a fraud, you know. Now he's got a sore throat and he's heartbroken as well. Caretaker boss Mike Michael Jackson was loving life after the most recent 3 points. The team they beat, though, Watford, will be parting ways with their boss Roy Hodgson at the end of the season. He's on his way out of the ground as we speak. On the tube now, and you've got to be prepared for a footballing call-up at all times. Meanwhile, Fulham were promoted to the Premier League as champions with a 7-0 win over Luton at Craven Cottage. Luton's manager didn't particularly take the result well.
Control the game, allow a goal from a corner, allow another average goal, then the fluke goal, a goal, then another average goal, then the fluke goal, another average goal.
This warning to stay off the pitch hasn't really worked to the way Fulham wanted it to. Joining them in the Premier League will be Bournemouth as well after their 1-0 win over promotion rivals Nottingham Forest. Bournemouth and Fulham going back to the Prem. If that lineup was a snack, it would be salt and shake crisps, but you've taken the salt sachet out, so it's literally just shake. In the Europa League now, and one Marseille fan got grief from Feyenoord supporters after turning up in an Ajax top. It was heartache for West Ham as they were dumped out of the competition in the semi-finals by Frankfurt. The day started in high spirits as well as Iron supporters managed to crash this wedding in the area. An early red card for Aaron Cresswell set the tone. David Moyes then joined him for an early shower later on. That sounds crazy. I don't mean they were in the shower together. Frankfurt fans were ripping seats out of their own stadiums so they could stand here. You can't beat a team like that. Jose Mourinho's Roma qualified for the Conference League final, beating Leicester, and you can see what it means to him here. But holding it down for the British clubs were Rangers after beating arguably the favourites RB Leipzig. Former fantasy football hero John Lundstrom scored the goal to take them through. I would like my points, thank you very much. Meanwhile, on commentary duty, Ali McCoy was struggling to hold it together.
As you can see, the players just down behind us here, and Ali's celebrating with them all.
Initial reports of Paris Saint-Germain and Kylian Mbappe agreeing a new 2-year deal have emerged over in France, meaning it's going to be a further 2 years until he wins the Champions League. But allegedly, this is not true, according to his mum, who's come out and suggested there are no agreements in place. Now, if you could just sign here, Kylian, and we can get this. You won't be getting any sort of new deal if you don't finish off your vegetables from dinner. This is Mbappe, please. We've got things to do. Elsewhere at PSG, and they are among several clubs interested in signing a 13-year-old striker called Saido Balde. Let the guy do his GCSEs, man. With his history of knowing young talent, though, Arsene Wenger probably knew about this kid from time ago. Yeah, it's actually crazy. I was there when he was conceived. Hey, yo, my man's going mad on her. It's not been a great season for Pogba's, generally speaking, and Paul's brother Florentin scored an outrageous own goal for Sochaux just a few days ago. Now, the shirt that Diego Maradona wore in the Hand of God incident was bought for £7 million this week. The irony is that when bidding for it, you had to put your arm up in the air. Oh, for God's sake, I can't get it high enough again. Real Madrid were crowned La Liga champions in a piece of information we've all known would happen for a while now, and it means that Carlo Ancelotti is the first manager to win a title in all 5 major leagues. As you can see, he's thrilled. Barcelona have decided that they're not gonna sign Adama Traoré on a permanent basis. After a quick start, the Wolves loanee has been replaced in the side by Ousmane Dembele's new form. As you can see, he's not pleased about the situation. Some City fans snuck into Atletico Madrid's dressing room and put a picture of Jack Grealish under Stefan Savic's seat. In Germany, and Bayern Munich announced a new deal for Thomas Muller like this. It's mad, he's been the same age forever. He's actually 32 in both images. And at Schalke versus Sandhausen, we've got some expert beer balancing going on. Now though, it's time for your goals of the week. And first of all, we've got a double in Guatemala, where 2 absolute screamers have been scored in the same game.
Aquí viene el lanzamiento, el tiro, gol! Golazo, 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 golazo.
Following on from that strike, we then have a throw-in that leads to an absolutely outrageous bicycle kick.
Él se aproxima.
Tiene el centro, el tiro, gol! Golazo, 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 golazo.
And over in Turkey, former Wolves forward Nua Dicko spotted the goalkeeper off his line, and we all know what happens from here.
Yusuf Önde Dicko!
Over in the Netherlands, and Feyenoord fans have set up a GoFundMe to make the loan signing of Cyril Dessers permanent because the club themselves are struggling financially. In Portugal, and Renato Sanchez has really fallen off.
No!
And in Italy, one story to watch out for is that of Salernitana, who was stranded at the bottom of Serie A for the longest amount of time and tipped almost indefinitely to go down. In the last month, they picked up a stupid amount of points, and after victory against Venezia, are now out of the relegation places. Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty. And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Closer to home, and there's an incredible story that's come from Coventry City women. Their side were perilously close to liquidation earlier in the year, received a 10-point deduction, but arrived on the final day of the season with a chance of staying up. Into the final minute of the game, stepped forward Molly Green with a free kick to send the players, coaches and fans into delirium. At Bolton, and forward Dion Charles managed to accidentally score from the halfway line with a slide tackle. The limbs were phenomenal, but probably led to serious injury over at Sheffield United. I don't know what is going on here, and I need the backstory, but we've got a mascot getting arrested here. He's not even the most criminal mascot in the UK, for God's sake. And down in the lower leagues, have you ever seen a throw-in like this before?
Deliver us.
As we can see, the pink hair appears to be some kind of mating call for this porn star here. Now we know why he left Everton. They were getting pummeled on a regular basis. Now he can do the pummeling. Trabzonspor won their first Turkish title in 38 years from the end of this season. The celebrations in the street amongst their fans were wild. And on the pitch, they were providing all new techniques for tackling. Scottish youngster Cameron Campbell was talking about something in the week. I don't know what it was because I was distracted by his trim. Wheel it back. Seattle Sounders became the first MLS side to win the CONCACAF Champions League, booking their place in the Club World Cup. But during the trophy lift, not everybody was concentrating. Flipping it. Right, let me just see what's going on Snapchat. Oh, see. Over in Sweden, and we've got proof that you don't always have to play out from the back. Brazilian footballer Bruno Oliveira of Santos revealed a new tattoo this week on his back, and it features SpongeBob SquarePants and Patrick Star. This is long, man. Do you know how long this is gonna take?
6.5 hours.
Over in Brazil, and we've got a referee who clearly got distracted during this game. Alcoholism whilst officiating is definitely the tactic that the City v Real referee used. Elsewhere, and we've got someone selling popcorn, getting in the way a little bit of the action on the pitch. And over at Billericay women's side,
Win your headers!
Show me, what the fuck? What am I gonna do?
now though, for the moment you've all been waiting for, because over in Romania, the greatest nation in the world has returned once again for some second division action between CSA Steaua and U Cluj. So picture the scene. There's been a collision and we've got a man down for Steaua. His physio is needed, and needed fast. Maybe a little bit too fast in this situation. Up in Scotland, and Arbroath's manager was hit on the head by a football dropping from the stadium.
Yeah.
In Hungary, and did you not see the clip from Sweden, lads? Stop trying to play it out from the back. You're not Edison. Over in Ecuador, and these opponents got a little bit touchy-feely in the area. I put the ball in the box. Yeah, you can anytime. Oh, no, that's what the right. Over in North America, and these scorelines internationally at under 17s level are getting a little bit out of hand. In Brazil, and upon Fortaleza scoring, one fan realized that his lion mascot needed some serious medical attention. In Israel, and in the Tel Aviv derby, we've got a ping pong assist from the wrong team here to give their opposition a goal. And over in Hong Kong, shouts to Kichi SC, who with a draw against Vissel Kobe of Japan, managed to become the first team from Hong Kong to ever get out of the AFC Champions League group stages. Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now, this is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. This time, we've not got a video for once, but what we do have is a hair-raising story. And that's because whilst defending for his local side Whitburn, number 4 here's wig flew off during a game. I'll be honest, I respect him for carrying on, but the non-league Rob Holding's gotta sort that out. On to the weird stuff though now. Over in France, and a man from Normandy's been jailed for 2 months for trying to pretend to be a Paris Saint-Germain player at a hotel to avoid paying for his room. Referee John Hinestroza this week accidentally yellow carded a footballer twice, but then didn't actually send him off after. The referee is from Colombia, and apparently he's done this before. Just last year in a game between America de Cali and Tolima. Over in Malta, and a side called Nader Youngsters registered their former president eligible to play in their last league match of the season as a, kind of nice gesture to him. He was subbed on in the 70th minute and 10 minutes later scored an equaliser with a penalty to seal a 1-1 draw. And finally, some great news coming out of Bournemouth this week, where Welshman David Brooks has announced that after undergoing cancer treatment, he is officially cancer-free as of this week and is focusing on returning to training and full fitness. Brilliant news for David, and it will be great to see him back, hopefully on a football pitch soon. That, though, is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.